Hey, so the next one is Sniper Bladeworks Mini Mini LPC. This is actually a handle that was done by Tough Thumbs for Sebastian. This knife was a gift for me from Sebastian, and you know, I always love their shapes, the blade shapes and the handle shapes and the overall shapes, but I never had one. You know, I was never big into the custom knives. I really never want to pay, you know, 500-600 for a custom knife, but you can see that I'm getting into it. Actually, most of the knives were some, you know, kind of like trades and partial trades and stuff, like gifts. So as soon as I got this one, I really fell in love with it. There's only one disadvantage of the Sniper Bladeworks, which I know a lot of people don't mind, and it's just what it is. There are these, you know, pretty big overbuilt thick knives, beefy knives, and very often so are their grinds. But I did come across also some really nicely thin and beautifully ground snipers. You know, most of them have pretty thick edges. But again, it's something that anybody can really fix themselves. If you really desire a thinner knife, you can always regrind it. It's not such a big deal. It's not such a hard thing to do, especially once you already have the bevels ground on it. It's really not such a big deal. This one was reground by Tough Thumbs. I think I actually might fix it up a little better afterwards. It's still pretty strong edge, and it's good actually. You know, I don't mind using it. It actually works well, but it could be a little better. And but other than that, just beautifully put together nice, very good. You know, the way it works, it's perfect. Only thing I wish kinda that this one was a flipper. They do have a flipper versions also. If you imagine, this would be sticking up a little bit more, and it's kind of like a flipper, just like that. You see, but it works so nice. It's the way it's put together, where the pivot is and everything, the stoppings. It just has really nice balance of, you know, it just flips beautifully. The action on the knife is very nice. Another thing what I really love, I mean, the handle is super comfortable. Another thing what I really like, and again, it's gonna come with the cost of something, and especially for the collectors, but since I'm not a collector, I really don't care. The thing what I love about snipers is the lock interface they do. The face of the lock, if you notice, the blade tank is almost straight. There is such a small little angle on the blade tank. So what this causes is that the lock will travel all the way in very quick. It will wear in very quick. But what this does is that, you know, so imagine right now I'm all the way in, but this knife will never get stuck, just like I forgot to actually mention in the Kylie's knife. Beside the fact that it's never gonna get disengaged by accident, it will never get stuck. You know, when you use the knife hard, when you press on the lock bar really hard, and the friction gets just so tight that you have to pry it open with something. You know, you have to stick something here and pry it open, just because of the, you know, some people call it sticky lock, and I imagine multiplied by a lot when you actually use the knife hard, when you squeeze it, or when you use the knife hard in the sense that you put a lot of force. When you're cutting with a lot of force, you know, you're forcing the blade up and squeezing the lock in. The lock gets stuck. So this just doesn't happen again, because it can, you know, it's all the way in already, so it's not gonna get stuck and never gonna get sticky lock. It's always easy to disengage. Now again, the cost of it is, from the collector point of view, your lock is all the way in, so suddenly a lot of people, oh, it's, you know, it's gonna have a blade play and this and that, and it will have slight little log rug kinda, which again does not bother me, because what it does is, I'm not a collector, and what it gives me is the security of never being sticky lock, and at the same time it's pretty much impossible, since it's just in there. You cannot, the angle is so low, almost straight, that it's just not gonna slip out. It would have to be ridiculous circumstances for the lock to slip out from the blade tank and close, you know, by accident. So I love this. I really like how they do. Some of them have different angles, but I've noticed on a lot of them it's very similar to this. It's very similar. They put the very low angles on them, and I like that, because it does pretty much the same thing what this one does. You know, no stickiness, and pretty much impossible to disengage the lug accidentally, just because of the way it's working, you know. That spring tension of the lug is always gonna put it all the way there, and the angles are so low that it's almost impossible to disengage it. You know, it's not a super light knife, but it's not really heavy. You know, you have one side is just G10 and one side is titanium, so it's actually not heavy. It's not as heavy as it looks like it is. They have really decent pocket clips. They work perfect. They're actually good looking, and they have all different, you know, designs, all different handle scales. You can get some really fancy custom ones with the Damascus steels and stuff like that, and they're cool guys. So I like them. You know, I really like Sniper Bladeworks. They make really pretty knives and very functional knives. You know, and like I said, sometimes, you know, and I'm sure that if you talk to them and if you would order a knife, you can actually ask them for some slimmer grind right from them, because they're pretty cool dudes. So definitely one of my favorites. Love this knife a lot, especially since it was a gift from a very good friend. So guys, Sniper Bladeworks Mini LCP, definitely in my top, you know, top, what it is now, I think. How many I have here? 6, 12, which one actually is on mine, but I still gonna put it here because I love it. Definitely wanna list it. So 12, top 12, definitely in my top 12 list. Don't cut yourself.